Everybody hurts. What if I told you that you're not hurting because of what happened, but because you are still carrying it? Just take a moment and really sit with that. Maybe you've replayed the event over and over in your mind, searching for closure, holding on to anger, hoping for an apology that may never come. And without even realizing it, the only one who is truly suffering is often you. Welcome to this channel, a space created with love and compassion to uplift, support, and remind you that you are not alone. I was raised by loving parents who taught me the importance of forgiveness. But as I grew older, I realized that the meaning I had attached to forgiveness was actually keeping me stuck. Tony Robbins completely redefined it for me. He teaches that forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about you. Because every time we replay the hurt or continue searching for their validation, we quietly hand our emotional power back to the person who caused the pain. He describes unforgiveness as carrying a backpack filled with bricks, each brick representing anger, disappointment, injustice. And we carry that weight everywhere, while the other person often carries nothing. Just imagine that. He asks, why allow someone who hurt you to live rent-free in your mind? Your energy is one of your most precious resources. Healing begins when you stop feeding the pain of the past and start investing that energy into your peace, your growth, your future. And let's be clear, forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. It does not mean pretending the hurt was acceptable. It does not mean trusting the person again or giving them another chance. As Tony teaches, forgiveness is an act of emotional freedom, not for them, but for the liberation of your body, mind, and soul. And this is where something deeper unfolded for me. There's a myth we carry about healing. We believe closure requires cooperation, that reconciliation is proof that love was real, that unfinished conversations mean unfinished healing. So we hold on. We wait for them to acknowledge the harm, take responsibility, to finally understand us. We think, once they see it, then I can breathe. But when your healing depends on someone else's emotional capacity, you hand them the keys to your freedom. And not everyone has the capacity to meet you where you are. Some people would have to confront parts of themselves they simply are not ready to face. In my own research, almost by accident, I stumbled across the topic of grief. And that's when something truly clicked. I realized I wasn't just holding on to the hurt, I was grieving. Grieving the version of the person I hoped they would become. Because often what hurts the most isn't just what happened. It's the dream that died, the expectation that collapsed, the future we build in our minds that suddenly has nowhere to live. That is grief. Not only when someone passes away, but when potential disappears. The parent who never kept you emotionally safe, the friend who betrayed you, the partner who chose ego over depth. Part of you knows you deserve better, but there's still an ache, and that ache is not weakness, it's human. When we deny that grief, it hardens into resentment. When we suppress sadness, it resurfaces as anger, and the body carries it. I realized something life-changing. Peace does not require reconciliation. You can honor the good memories and still refuse to tolerate harm. You can release resentment without reopening the door. You can love someone and still not give them access to your heart. The most radical act of courage is letting go of the fantasy that one day they will become who you needed them to be. For me, healing truly began when I stopped waiting, stopped explaining, stopped trying to be understood. I surrendered the need for agreement, and something shifted. I stopped replaying the story. The surge of anger softened. Their name no longer changed my emotional state. I became my own closure. And it wasn't loud, it was steady, quiet, and strong. What helped me most was separating the lesson from the pain, asking myself, what is this teaching me, instead of, why did this happen to me? That small shift moved me from feeling powerless to growing. I also had to become honest about boundaries. No walls, but just loving limits. Choosing not to abandon myself just to keep someone else comfortable. Protecting my integrity instead of shrinking my truth. And in quiet moments, when resentment tried to return, I would gently say, I release this. I choose peace. Not because they deserve it, but because I did. Doing this didn't happen overnight, but little by little, it gave me my energy back. And if any part of this resonates with you, I hope it offers even a small sense of lightness and relief. Tony Robbins reminds us that we can transform pain into fuel, not fuel for revenge, not to prove someone wrong, but fuel to honor our own soul. True healing is when their name no longer shifts in your nervous system. And sometimes when you reclaim your emotional freedom, others may call you selfish, cold, or distant. Let them. Growth often unsettles those who benefited from your silence. But choosing your well-being is not cruelty. It's courage. Life is moving forward. The question is not whether the past happened. The question is whether you will continue carrying it. Healing is not erasing what was. It's refusing to let it define who you are becoming. You are allowed to grieve what could have been. You are allowed to let go of who they were. You are allowed to choose peace, even if they never change. You do not need permission to make peace. You can become your own closure. And please remember, you are not alone. Thank you for being here today. So until next time, be yourself, trust your heart, and shine your light. Thank you for listening.